All right, let's talk about the coup. How do you get involved in a coup d'etat of Equatorial Guinea?
Attempted. I was recruited by somebody called Eli Khalil, who is also dead. It's quite funny how quite a few of these people are no longer with us.
When they're dead, do you feel more comfortable talking about things, or do you always feel comfortable talking?
Especially libel, Here,
okay.
the UK laws of libel are very strict.
But you have to be alive for those to take.
Yeah, if you're dead, you can't be libeled.
Okay, right. Okay.
So Eli Khalil recruited me.
And he was a Brit.
He is a Brit, but he's a Christian Lebanese born in Nigeria.
Okay.
And a multimillionaire, and the rest.
And what was the plan?
The plan was to, the real plan was that there would be a palace coup. So the president would be arrested in his bed, and we would fly in with the chairman of the interim cabinet designate, a gentleman called Seviramoto, who had been the elected mayor of Malibu, the capital of Equatorial Guinea. So somebody with real standing in the community. We'd have put him in, and we'd have been the escort. 60 men, the right number of men for a VVIP escort in a dodgy place. And that was it.
That's a pretty standard escort for a dodgy place, 60 men,
Yeah.
VVIP, for getting in and out without...
For the first couple of months, yeah.
Okay. And you expected the palace coup, which means they just arrest him in his bed at night.
Yeah, so I was expecting to arrive in Malibu wearing a suit and a tie. I was not expecting to wear combat kit. But obviously, we had to have combat kit.
Just in case. Okay.
In case something had gone wrong and we arrive and there's a...
Even then, how do 60 men fight their way?
Well, exactly. So that in itself is really the proof of the fact that it was the first plan that was expected to happen.
Okay.
The palace coup.
Right.
I was expecting that we were going to arrive at the airport and be greeted, met by the committee.
Okay. Now, why take this on, and did you realize how risky it was?
I knew it was potentially very, very risky, yeah. Especially as, initially, I didn't know the real plan. So Eli Khalil just said, well, I think we ought to take over this country. And how are we going to do that? And you need to meet Seviramoto, and so on and so forth. And so, yeah, I did know it would be risky. And I thought...
But the real plan was even riskier.
Well, no, the real plan, the palace coup, is risk-free. Right. We're just going to land, we're going to be met by some people who've got the president under arrest, who are going to say, hooray!
Escort the new guy in.
Our liberators.
And you're done.
And I'm sitting there just making sure poor old Severo doesn't get sort of whacked over the head. Or shot. Or something.
Okay.
Like that. So that's, quite gentle. Although obviously things may subsequently happen. The army may decide they don't like Seviramoto, or all sorts of things might start happening. And initially I sort of said, well, I don't know. I need to find out how bad is the dictatorship. Because to me, part of it, and I'm not trying to be moralistic here, this is being pragmatic. I want to know that the dictatorship, the tyranny is horrible. Because that's our excuse. That's our casus belli.
Makes it easier to get the job done.
Much easier.
Okay.
And in fact, I said to Eli Khalil, it is essential. It is a sine qua non. If it turns out that the tyrant is not really a tyrant, and he's a benign dictator, then I'm not interested.
Because it's going to fail. It's destined to fail.
And also it's morally wrong.
Okay. So you do have moral issues.
Of course.
Okay.
I thought this was made abundantly clear.
No, not with the steamliner, with the nuclear parts and killing the Saudis. But
but remember,
yeah,
they weren't really going to be killed.
Of course. And it wasn't really nuclear material. No, it would have been.
It would have been.
Okay.
It had to be.
It had to be. Okay. Understood. All right. So what
But it would
happened?
never have got into the wrong hands.
Of course, never.
It might have been fake. Probably somebody would have sort of interfered and said, right, better
I just
fake.
think that there's a Simon Mann in every government around the world, maybe multiple ones, coming up with these ideas over lunch. And some of these play out into what happens in the world. And some we hear about and some we don't. And there's something very terrifying about that.
I think that's the normal. I mean, I'm sure you know that staffs, military staffs around the world, spend weeks actually planning wars against people who are their friends and allies on a sort of what-if scenario planning basis. Not as an exercise, but as a kind of, well, we better have a file.
Yeah. Again, this is a civilian's perspective that just wants to sleep well at night and have my job. And I don't think about the
But this
people
goes back to your
protecting.
first question. Should the guy going around the supermarket be aware or not?
I think he should.
Are we here spreading uncertainty and fear and loathing? Should we be having this interview?
Yes. I think the person should know. I think they should thank the officers for their service. I think they should be aware that you got to do some bad things to have a peaceful, country.
I don't think
with,
we do, but I don't think we do bad
Right.
things.
Okay.
And I mean, if we do from time to time, then they have to be done. But I don't think people have to be running around ever grateful.
Okay.
I just think that's a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit American.
You said it.
I did. All right. So back to the coup.
Yep.
Margaret Thatcher's son, Mark, is involved
He was.
because there was a money play here.
That was latterly because I was running out of money
Okay.
and I needed some more money because Eli Khalil, who said he had lots of money and he was going to back the whole thing properly, failed to do so.
What does this take? Millions of dollars to do this coup? Not that much.
I think we actually probably spent about 3 million.
Okay.
But that was badly spent because what Eli Khalil did, which I warned him not to do, but he did it, which was he basically drip fed us. Had he come up with the 5 million I wanted on day one when he said we'd have it, then it would have been a very different story.
Okay. And what do you need that money for?
Paying people, buying kit, and setting up the mechanics.
Okay. Of the
thing.
60 people going in on that one day.
Well, so for example, the first thing I said to Eli Khalil is, well, I don't know if this tyranny is a tyranny. So I want to put some people on the ground to find out. So Nick Dutoy, who was South African, who was my number 2, he went onto the ground and he spent a lot of time and effort in Equatorial Guinea, building up contacts. He set up a couple of businesses, ice making business, a fishing boat, blah, 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 which was cover. And that was our reconnaissance.
Okay.
And one of the crucial things that Nick had to do was report back to me to tell me how bad it was. Is it a horrible tyranny or isn't it? And he reported back unequivocally that it was awful and there were terrible things going on. People were being sacrificially eaten, the street boys were being taken off the street and used for sexual purposes, and so on and so forth. That it was really, really bad.
Which is kind of a normal day in Liberia, but, right?
Yeah, that bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
But not in Equatorial Guinea.
Pretty bad.
Okay.
And wrongful arrest, people kept in prison for no reason,
Okay.
all of that.
But otherwise, no resources in this company, no oil wealth in the current time in Equatorial Guinea. It wasn't.
Huge oil wealth.
Oh, huge oil wealth at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Offshore. All that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And a very wealthy place.
Okay.
And Eli Khalil is saying, look, we can create a Dubai out of this. We can get rid of the tyrant. We have democratically elected governments. We're not going to interfere with the oil industry at all because if we do, we'll be very unpopular. And we're going to make a lot of money out of real estate.
Right.
That
So,
was Eli Khalil there.
and that's the way it works in the mercenary business. Sometimes I'll pay you later. We're going to make money later. And sometimes it works with diamond mines in Sierra Leone, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. That's right. Well, would we have been paid in the end? Well, I think we would have, because we'd have been there. We would have been the Praetorian Guard around, hopefully, the new president. But there's a great deal of ifs.
Yeah.
You know, there are like 20 ifs. So this is not like, you know, we want half the money up front and half the money after the job, governor. You know, it's not like an Ealing Broadway sort of comedy crook thing. Anyway, Nick said, no, this is absolutely horrific. So as the news came in as to how horrific it was, so the thing built up, and I decided, yes, okay, well, we'll give it a go.
Do you talk to your wife before you do things like this?
I did actually, yes. And in fact, on this occasion, she said, don't do this.
And she knew everything you'd done before, kind of?
Pretty much.
And she was for it, or you hadn't met her yet, or?
Yeah, she'd never, she sort of keeps quite well away from it all. She
Okay.
doesn't want to know the details. She came to the meeting in the bush where all the Angolan generals flew in. She actually was there.
Okay.
So some of it she sort of got a bit of a kick out of.
Okay.
Like a sort of Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Yeah.